Hello, Mr. Alexander. You are highly welcome. Please, let's count down to the starting of the program. Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Inusa. How are you?
I'm
I'm,
fine.
I'm gonna
How
put
is
my,
everything? How's business? Yeah.
let me put my video on.
Okay, yeah, it's
Can you
fine.
see me? Can you see me now?
Not yet.
Wait a minute. Oh, there you go. You should be able to
Yeah,
see me
yeah, yeah.
now.
I can see you now. Yes.
Good, good.
Mhm.
Let me set up things. Give me a couple minutes, okay?
Okay, yeah, fine.
And if I may ask, how long this is gonna take?
1 hour.
1 hour. Oh, okay,
Depend
that's fine.
Depending on how fast you people give your responses, but maximum is 1 hour 15 minutes.
Ah, okay,
Yeah.
good. And then slides that I should prepare because I have slides with me.
Yes, if you have slide with you, fine. You just make a presentation, then I can ask a follow-up question, and that is all.
Okay, good, good.
Good afternoon. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I think we're waiting for one speaker to attend. Let me just quickly chat her up. Please just give me a minute to chat her up. She's going to join us shortly. She's offline. So I'll start. When she joins, then we'll continue with her. Good afternoon, everyone. Please, Mr. Dapo, can you turn on your camera?
Hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Halima.
Thank you very much. Yeah, okay. Good evening, distinguished speakers and our esteemed audience. Welcome to another edition of Africa Real Estate and Business Insight. My name is Halima Aliyu. I'm the project coordinator, and I'll be opening today's session before handing over to our host, A.S. Yunosa. You can see him with the background of African Real Estate and Business Insight. So Arabi is committed. I'll quickly just give an intro of Arabi. What we do is we are committed to advancing real estate across Africa and promoting sustainable, inclusive development that supports long-term economic and social growth across the continent. Today's team, we're looking at fragmented markets, shared future, why African real estate system was aligned across borders. We're also going to highlight the need for African countries to create more connected and standardized real estate system instead of operating independently in isolated markets. This session will run for 1 hour and 15 minutes. We're going to follow by the question and answers from the audience. Please, I will encourage the audience, if you have any questions, please just put it on the chat box and the speakers will attend after the event. I will now hand over to our host who will guide us through the rest of the program and also will introduce our speakers. Thank you, and over to you, A.S. Yunusa.
Okay, thank you, Halima. We are welcome again to another edition of RAB. First of all, I have to wish our Muslim faithful happy Eid Mubarak to everyone. I understand the moment of the season, but we still have to do this to keep up with the momentum of our discussion because Africa cannot be great if we will not dip into our time, inconvenience ourselves, and do what is necessary. And I'm glad to have every one of us on the call today. I can see you, my brother, Mr. Alexander. We greeted earlier. You are highly welcome. Mr. Dapo as well. I can see you are highly welcome. Before I start the communication proper, so I just want us to watch a little clip from the richest man in Africa, Aliko Dangote. So I want to play a clip, then we'll watch it. It will be an introduction to the theme of this discussion so that we can know and understand the importance of what we are here today to discuss and the significance in African landscape generally. So I crave your indulgence just 2 minutes to watch the clip.
Somebody like myself, I need 38 visas to move around. How do I now invest if I'm not able to move around? 38 visas doesn't make sense. Nobody has time to go and somebody like myself, I need 38 visas to move around. How do I now invest if I'm not able to move around? 38 visas doesn't make sense. Nobody has time to go and apply for a visa, take your passport, and whatever. And most of them, they don't do visa on arrival. So we look at that one, free movement of people, free movement of goods and services. These are critical areas. Without this, there's no way we're going to have a very prosperous Africa. Because with this, I cannot move my goods from Nigeria, from Lagos to Republic of Benin. And when you try to cross the border, you can be there for a week if you are lucky. If you are not lucky, you don't know anybody, you're going to be there for 2 weeks. There's no way you can do a trade with your neighbors like this. Then we look at the sector of transportation. When you look at it, most of the people who own ships that move goods around, they're owned by other nationalities, not Africans. And it costs us, for example, to go from Lagos, port to Accra, more than coming from Spain to Lagos. Then you talk about aviation. When you talk about aviation from Lome to Accra, somebody will charge you $600. How do $600 is a lot of money.
Okay, thank you very much for watching. I believe we have seen, we heard it from the richest black man in Africa. So if he can feel the pain of the subject of today, talk more or less we that are operating far lesser than him. So to facilitate this conversation today, I have wonderful people that are doing credible work in subject matter. I have our first speaker who joined us from Tanzania by name Mr. Alexander Myra. Do I pronounce that your name well, Mr. Alexander? Is it
Yes,
Myra?
yes,
Okay,
yes,
thank
you
you
are
very
right.
much. He's the managing director of A10 Energy and Real Estate Consultancy Limited. He has over 24 years of advisory experience spanning East Africa and United States across real estate sustainability, that is ESG, project financing, and investment due diligence. He brings a rare combination of ground-level Tanzanian market knowledge and US financial market experience to the question we are going to answer today: how Africa real estate system can align without leaving affordability behind. Then secondly, I also have Mr. Oladapo Runsewe. Please, do I pronounce your name well? Is it
Yeah,
Runsewe?
you tried.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mr. Oladapo, who happens to be our second speaker, is from Nigeria like myself. He is from Lagos. So he is the head of professional service and property risk intelligence at CW Real Estate. He spent nearly 7 years at Estate Intel, covering 9 cities across 6 African countries. This experience together give him one of the sharpest comparative lens on how African listing markets are structured and where data gaps create risks and what the market intelligence infrastructure we still need to build. He holds a distinguished MSc in real estate from Heriot-Watt University. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the profile of our second speaker. Then our third speaker, Miss Ifoma. Halima, is she here now? Is he here now? Hello, Halima. Has she joined us?
No, she's not. I'm still communicating
Okay, that is
with
fine.
her.
That is fine. Please, immediately she joined, kindly notify me so that I can introduce her proper. So without wasting much of our time, we'll be going into the conversation proper for today. So Mr. Alexander, if your slide is ready, you can start your presentation since you choose that that option.
Good evening, everyone. I want to share my slide, but let me click it. Will you be able to allow me to share the slide, please?
Yes, share your slide, you can.
That was a mistake. Oh.
Can you see it? Can you see my screen?
Yes,
yes. I can see your screen.
All right. So first of all, I want to discuss about the Tanzania situation, state of Tanzania economy and real estate markets. Tanzania is the fastest growing country in East Africa. Right now, it shares a GDP of 6.6 to 7%. But these are data obtained in month of April 2026. The inflation rate is kind of fluctuating, but it's manageable. Now it's 4.2%, but it's manageable. Sometimes before that it went to 3.2 to 3.3%. Now I will speak of Tanzania, including Zanzibar. Yeah, Zanzibar is an island which form part of Tanzania, United Republic of Tanzania. The monetary stability of Tanzania and Zanzibar combined has caused inflation to hit 3.5%. This is part of Tanzania mainland, but Zanzibar is 3.4%. And the bank interest rate are held at 5.75. And also the banking sector shows some liquidity for non-performing loans of 2.9%, which is below the threshold of 5%. Like I said before, Tanzania is amongst the fastest growing middle-class economy in sub-Saharan. Among the top tourist sites in Tanzania, including Serengeti, Ngorongoro, Kreta, Mount Kilimanjaro, and others. Tanzania is among the three countries, East African economy, which are going to host AFCON 2027, hence position itself in a better way to attract direct foreign investment in commercial and residential ventures. Tanzania also is known as one of the haven of peace in East African region. Because of its stability in geopolitical matters. It's a geographical strategic location is positioned Tanzania to have economic advantages, because currently it borders with 6 landlocked countries like Burundi, Rwanda, Kenya, Uganda, and Democratic Republic of Congo. But there is a Tanzania development vision. We call it DIRA 2050. It says Tanzania has ambitions to become $1 trillion economy by the year 2050. Now, these are the vision. It want to become a middle income country by 2050, and by this target. But in order to reach this target, they're working on 246 specific financial and economic reforms in order to streamline business environment. Now, according to Tanzania Development Vision 2050, real estate sector is a key subsector for achieving inclusive and sustainable urban development. Now, according to long-term perspective plan of 2026-2027 through 2050 to 51, is to increase contribution of real estate sector to GDP from 4% to 12%, getting to 2050. Now, Tanzania, the reason why Tanzania is growing is because of infrastructure development. Currently, we have a standard gauge rail, which comes from Dar es Salaam to Mwanza, Dar es Salaam to Kigoma. And this standard gauge railway is creating opportunity or demand for real estate. But also we have expansion projects for ports, Dar es Salaam Port, Tanga, Mtwara, Kigoma, Mwanza, Lake Nyasa, just border to Malawi. But also we have a new planned construction for Bagamoyo Eco Maritime Port, which would attract more investment in commercial and industry along the coast. Right now, we are having ongoing expansion projects in a new built airports, Dar es Salaam Airport, Zanzibar, Mbeya, Geita, Musoma, Tanga, Kilimanjaro, Ruvuma, Kigoma, Tabora, etc., etc. Another infrastructure development which are coming in Dar es Salaam is bus rapid transit, and this improve the goal is to remove congestion and connectivity between the cities and neighborhoods of Dar es Salaam. So because of these improvements, you see the real estate is becoming more attractive to investors, because where infrastructures are, that's where real estate developments actually tend to go hand in hand. In the outskirts of Dar es Salaam, we have seen some improvements in rental income, rental prices. For example, the prime areas of Upanga, Mikocheni, Msasani, Oysterbay, Masaki, the rents can go as high as $3,500 per month, based on size and other factors. But also prices of these residential properties keep going up 4% to 6% per year. Dar es Salaam alone price can go, I expect it to rise to 7%. Now, demand for commercial properties like grade A office properties are still high. The rent per month per square meter ranges from $13 to $15 per square meter. Dodoma is one of the emerging cities because it's a country's administrative capital, like Nigeria, Abuja. The like of Abuja is, we're talking about Dodoma. That's where government offices are. Also is coming up. It attracts demand for both residential and commercial properties. Now, there are some institutions which regulate all this development for real estate, especially for investment. We have Tanzania Investment Special Economic Zone, we call TISEZA. And in Zanzibar, we have Zanzibar Investment Promotion Agencies. And all these two institutions, they have decided to establish one-stop shop, whereby an investor coming in Tanzania wants to invest in real estate, they have to go through this institution. And they've been, once approved, an investor will be offered what is called derivative right to own real estate. And these rights have a certain duration, 33 to 99 years. So TISEZA and ZIPA, since their establishment, they've been able to cut bureaucracies and processes and procedure up to 50% in order to approve applicants to speed up investment in the country. TISEZA and ZIPA, both of them offers incentive to the investor. For example, duty and import duty and VAT exemptions on capital goods and building materials. I think this is a lesson which other country can learn from Tanzania and Zanzibar. We offer investors exemptions on taxes, and also investors in order to promote foreign capital, I offer up to 10-year tax holidays for corporate taxes for strategic investment projects. Tanzania for property developers have who develop property worth than Tanzania shilling 50 million will pay no taxes. This is done to reach the goal of having affordable housing in Tanzania. Tanzania has also improved business environment by digitizing land registration system. We have an integrated land management information system. And also, in order to acquire building permit, Tanzania has an online system where an investor can apply for building permit. And it used to take 12 months, sometimes 6 months, sometimes more than that. But with this online system, it takes only 75 days. You get your building permit, you start construction of your whatever project that you need. Zanzibar is improving. I'll talk a little bit of Zanzibar because Zanzibar is attracting more investors at the moment because tourism has boosted Zanzibar economy. Tourism contributes about 30% to GDP of Zanzibar. And currently, Zanzibar receives more than 1 million tourists a year. And this attracts short-term rental demand. Zanzibar tourism hit about, like I said, in 2025, hit about 900,000, almost 1 million. 2026, the data is still coming out, but I think the number will grow. Now we have direct flights from Zanzibar, from Europe to Zanzibar, from United Arab Emirates to Zanzibar, direct flights. This boosts the economy of Zanzibar. Zanzibar investors with tourism-linked prosperity enjoy massive yields, high occupancy rates from 65% to 85% during peak seasons. Over the past 10 years, Zanzibar property assets have delivered strong compounded annual growth. The legal framework has matured. From 2023, Zanzibar has done a lot of reforms. And these reforms are just like is shown there. An investor is protected with a 99-year leasehold ownership, and with that, an investor is guaranteed full right to resell, rent, and inherit. Also, another incentive is a profit repatriation mechanism. An investor from Nigeria, from Ghana can come to Zanzibar and invest. And if the ZIPA approve the project, can be able to shift profit to Nigeria, to whatever parts of the world. The major shift that allow this market to thrive is because of the reforms. And the reforms are still going on. The projects registered with ZIPA benefits from residence permits. An investor will get residence permits and gold visa pathway if investment exceeds $100,000. We call it residence by investment. Now you have right to live, work, and retire in the island. Like I said, tax exemption, stamp duty, capital gain tax if you invest more than 100,000 for ZIPA approved projects. Here's what actually happening at the moment in Zanzibar. Property prices are rising 7% to 11% annually. Rental yields, it goes up to 17% if you're talking about short-term rentals like Airbnb. These rental yields are very high compared to Dar es Salaam is 2 to 4%. Global average is 3 to 6%, but Zanzibar can go as high as 12 to 17. Very exceptional. Now, This is why global investors flowing to Zanzibar real estate market, especially in hospitality and luxurious hotel development and resort. Zanzibar is different from Mauritius and Seychelles and Indonesia because the prices are still relatively cheap compared to these countries like Mauritius and Seychelles. 1 unit of condo, it can cost up to $75,000 a unit of condo to buy in Zanzibar, plus all these incentives I mentioned before. Now, the other area like best performing zones in Zanzibar, we have Paje, Jambiani. These attract tourism and digital nomads. Nungwi, Kendwa, all these have luxury and high yields. Fumba, Mbweni. Fumba is one of the fastest growing neighborhoods in Zanzibar at the moment. I'll go a little faster. Now, we're talking about common challenges in African real estate markets. We all know we have housing deficit gap. Africa's 1.4 billion housing deficit. Tanzania alone has 3.8 million housing units gap. Now, 60 to 80% of African builds their homes incrementally. 70% of total African housing supply is dominated by individual home builders. According to Tanzania long-term perspective plan, Ministry of Lands and Human Resources is targeted to have almost 10 million units by 2050. And then, you know, Africa, we have low participation of mortgage financing institutions and high interest rates. These are some of the issues that we are facing because only 5% of adults in sub-Saharan Africa holds mortgage loan, and less than 7% of African households afford median price homes. In Tanzania alone, only 4% of population use mortgage financing. You can tell 96% cannot access, maybe they're not applying mortgage financing. That means they build their homes incrementally using personal loan, personal income. They don't, so that is still low. But according to Tanzania 5-year development plan, the fourth, it says that the target is to reduce interest rate. Current interest rate goes to 16% to 19%. Now, the target by 2031 is to reduce interest rate to 12%. And then Tanzania Mortgage Refinance Company on May 6th, very like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, that has introduced Nyumba Bond. Nyumba Bond will be sold to the public at minimum investment of Tanzania shilling 500,000 with a coupon rate of 11% per year. This is a step towards stimulating mortgage lending. Now, lowest contribution ratio for Africa GDP to GDP. For example, Tanzania real estate sector contributes 0.5% to GDP. Nigeria real estate sector contributes 5.2% to 10% to GDP. Namibia has the highest contribution rate, 24%. This data is from 2022. But according to Tanzania 5-year development plan, is target to increase mortgage contribution ratio to country GDP from 0.5% to 2% by 2030. And then another common challenge that we face as Africa is uncontrollable urbanization rates in African cities. Africa is the world's fastest growing continent as far as urbanization is concerned. Now, African cities growing at annual rate of 3.5%. 70% of urban workers are employed in the informal economy. Urbanization rates varies between countries. Gabon has the highest rate of 90%, and Burundi has the lowest, 14%. Poor land system ownership disputes, land administration weaknesses. Over 90% of lands in sub-Saharan Africa is unregistered. All lands in Tanzania and Zanzibar are public lands, which are under president custodianship. So because of time, I'll go down to see what can we do to align these real estate economies. Alignment of real estate economies involves a lot of things. First of all, we need to unlock liquidity and capital. because real estate markets are fragmented. Like you know, what happening in Tanzania is not happening in Ghana. What happening in Ghana is not happening in Kenya. So how do we align this market? First of all, we need to standardize and create a transparent system, integrated property system under African Continental Free Trade Area. It's called AFCATA. This is critical for a shared future. But also what we need to do to reduce high transaction costs and barriers. We have inconsistent legal framework and zoning regulations. This have to change. And another thing, we need to harmonize regulations to make it cheaper and easier to scale real estate projects regionally. Also, infrastructure and sustainable growth. Real estate infrastructure, energy security are intertwined. We have to have a unified system to support regional infrastructure projects, and also standardize data and transparency. Overcoming structural fragmentation, like I mentioned before, we need to have a national real estate system burdened by, which are currently burdened by colonial legacies. As a result, they create artificial divisions. So the only way to do that, the only way to overcome that is streamline zoning and permitting process to foster efficiency. We need also to standardize data accessibility and mandatory disclosures. Real estate investment in Africa is gaining traction as investors search for high growth markets beyond traditional territories. Another thing, we need to solve fragmentation. We need to aggregate. Africa market is characterized by fragmented land tenure systems, limited market data, and non-transparent regulations. So we need to adopt PropTech. Use of PropTech help us to standardize property valuation, title verification, transaction processes. And also we need to promote strongly real estate investment trust vehicles. These are important because rates are vital, aggregating smaller amounts to large scale income producing projects. Another thing we need to do, creating a shared future. We need to have inclusivity and sustainability programs. For example, PPP, public-private partnership. This is the only way you can achieve affordable housing projects, whereby private sector is joining forces with private sector to build houses, especially affordable homes. Another thing, we need to have a local empowerment and joint ventures projects, so that we will partner with local developers and professionals who understand market nuances, land tenure, and cultural context. I will end up here, even though there's a lot to share. I decided to go quickly so that if you have any question, I will go ahead and respond to the question. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Alexander, for that insightful presentation. In fact, you gave a deep insight into Tanzanian real estate market. And most personal to me was to inform us that Tanzania will be hosting AFCON in 2027, which Nigeria is coming to win. Thank you very much.
Yes.
While we are expecting the questions on the chat box, I'll call upon Mr. Dapo. I can't see him again. Mr. Dapo, I see you online, the second speaker. Okay.
Yes, I'm right here.
Okay, I'll call upon Mr. Dapo. Mr. Dapo has two questions to also give response to. So I will give you free flow. Should I need to call the question, or you read the question and continue to give us your presentation in regards?
Okay, sure. I think I can say it out loud, then give my own perspective of it. But
Okay,
before I get started, I want to say thank you for the opportunity to be on this panel and to speak. on this topic, which is, basically what I've a lot of my experience in real estate has been all about, right? So let's jump right into it. So the first question is asking where exactly the fragmentation, that's the real estate data fragmentation, where exactly is doing the most damage to real transactions in deals that have seen stall, collapse, or never get started. On the other side of that, which market or system on the continent is doing something right that others are not, right? So let me first start with, currently what we have, especially in sub-Saharan Africa, right? What we have now with regards to our data transparency is that all of the information when it comes to transactions, when it comes to real estate deals, all of that information is currently in silos. So when I say silos, I mean there's no central point that you can go to and see all the transactions that have occurred within a certain market, right? That means if you want to have, let's assume I'm a Nigerian and I'm looking to do business in Tanzania, for example, there is no central source, right, that I can go to and get information on transactions within the Tanzanian markets, right? At best, what I can rely on is listing data or asking prices, but for actual transaction prices, it's not possible, especially in sub-Saharan Africa. So you see situations where maybe an investor is trying to come into the Nigerian market, right? They want to purchase a residential building, they want to purchase a retail mall, right? Or they want to purchase an office space, right? And then they might have reached out to one point of contact, right? And that one tells them, hey, if you want to buy an office space, it is this is hypothetical, right? If you want to buy an office space, it's 5,000 naira per square meter, right? But that's just one point of contact. Now, because it's just one point of contact, there's no central database. By the time the investor comes in and they want to purchase the property, they find out it's probably 7,000 per square meter, or maybe 3,000. Let's say 3,000 per square meter, right? And in their mind, they're like, are you trying to fleece me, or is this about to be a fraudulent act and stuff like that? But the issue now is that it's not that 3,000 is wrong or 5,000 is wrong, or that it's just different perspectives. It's the same way if I go to the market, right, and I want to buy tomatoes, right, and one trader is saying that they want to sell theirs for 3,000 naira per basket, and the next one is saying they want to sell theirs for 5,000 naira per basket, right? It doesn't mean one is trying to cheat me and the other one isn't. It doesn't mean one is trying to cheat me and the other one isn't. It's just they are both selling at different prices. Now, what we have in Africa, or what we have in sub-Saharan Africa, is that there's no central database where you can see the different transaction or the different prices at a transparent level, right? So now what happens is that without that transparency, the market is very opaque for anyone looking to invest in the market, right? It's very opaque. There's no transparency, and then people can take advantage of that, to fleece the investor, or the would be investor, right? And that's what leads to price fluctuations, because at the end of the day, everybody begins to value their property at comparables, right? Without looking at the nuance. So Mr. A that is building a property, let's say two-bedroom apartments, let's say his two-bedroom apartment is like 90 square meters, right? We'll be comparing his price with Mr. B that is selling a 120 square meter two-bedroom apartment. But in reality, they are meant to have different valuations just for example, due to the size, especially if they're in the same location. So those are the kind of issues that might, lead to a deal to collapse or just raise a problem when people want to transact within a particular market. Now, the second part of that question is just saying, in which countries does it currently work? I would say so far in my experience, right, all over the continent, right, it's still, all of that information is still in private, within private companies, looking at what they've transacted, even down to South Africa, right? However, outside of the continent, where I've seen this work very well is in a place like Dubai, right? In Dubai, every transaction, whether it's a rental or a property purchase, has to be registered with the government. So, like that, everybody has access to those market transactions, and you know what's going on in the market. You know what the going rate for a lease is, what the going rate for a sale within a particular area is, and that makes real estate transactions much more smoother and easy. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Dapo. It's like you give response to one, just the first question, right?
Yes. Okay, do you want me to?
Okay. Let me call
Yeah.
the second one so that you can quickly address it before we come back to the questions and answers. So, from your profile, I saw that you work at intersection of data, risk, and transaction. So this intersection puts you closer than almost anyone, even me myself that I'm a developer. It put you, will give you that edge over anyone. So the question now is, what African real estate system, what do you think we still need to build? So if you are in the front of, you are now invited to speak to a conference of government, developers, and investors who genuinely wanted to close this market intelligence gap across our border. So what are two or three specific things that you think need to happen? Critically, what are those that need to happen? So who and who need to do those things to happen in order for we to bridge this gap? What is my own responsibility as a developer? What is your own as a practitioner? What is that for the government? So I just want you, from your experience, just bring that out for us, please.
Yeah. So I think, or rather, in my experience, right, the first thing is that the government has to mandate, not, they are not regulating the market. What they are just going to do is they're going to mandate the agents and the developers, right, to report sales prices, right? So by the time those ones report the sales prices, then the government makes that information available for everyone in the market. That's the only way it can happen. It has to be, that information also would help the government, to be able to draft out policies that might help the populace when it comes to the real estate market. So they need to be able to demand, and it's not an ask. It has to be a demand, a necessity, where any sale that happens in the market, any rent that happens in the market, um they have to report it. They have to report all of that information. Same thing goes for the agency developers. You have to report it. Then for the investors, I think for the investors, they just need to also. I think at the end of the day, we need to make the government the central source of truth. If we can't have a private source of truth, we have to have a central governmental source of truth where anyone can go in and see the information. Um, so basically, the developers report to the government for any property they sell. The agents also have a part to play by reporting leases and sales transactions that they're involved in. Um, and then the government's part to play is to make sure that that information is available to everyone playing within the market. I think for the investors, not that they don't have a part to play in. I think for them, what they just need is collaboration with the government to make sure that you know when they have this information, they are not just using it. Of course, as an investor, I want to get return on investment, but it has to also be in a way that it is profitable right? Or not, let me use the word profitable, beneficial, right, for the mass of the market at the end of the day. So I think that's those are the things that I would say need to happen if I were to advise, the government, developers, and a coalition of the government, developers, and investors within the market.
Okay, thank you very much. And if I may even have just a single takeaway from what you just said, we need a central data collection system. I think this aligned with the committee that was set in Nigeria in January by the just recent former Ministry of Finance, where they proposed this central data point for housing and infrastructural collection. So that is a very good insight. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Mr. Alexander, there is a question for you on the chat box. The question says, what kind of digital platform or apps can be used for Tanzania real estate market? And secondly, can foreign investors invest in Tanzania?
Okay, yes. The question asked about digital platform that can be used. In today's world, we are living in a world of information. Everything is online. So AI can provide information, everything, but we don't have a particular place where you can go on the website, you can get real estate market, because each information is information is in silos. Each one owns his own information based on their own research. The best way I can recommend is just to consult a real estate consultant who is practically on the ground, because numbers change, that this data changes. So what you see today might not see tomorrow. The number provided today can change after a week. Prices change because the market behave differently. And that's why I didn't want to mislead one to say, oh, this is the app, you can go, you can get everything. No. Talk to a consultant like me, a real estate consultant in Tanzania, operating in Tanzania and Zanzibar, will give you specific information based on a specific question that you may have. I'm not sure if I respond to the question correctly.
Yeah, I don't know who asked the question to actually attest whether his question is being answered, but to me, I love the response in consulting professionals in specific issues, because one of the challenge or in the industry is facing is right people providing informations, and at the end of the day, as you said, these data and informations are changing rapidly, and before you know, you apply in information that doesn't work or that is outdated. So thank you very much. Before we wrap up, we have less than 10 minutes to wrap up the section. So before we go, we have 54 African countries. So this question is for both Mr. Alexander, both for you and Mr. Dapo. So we have 54 countries, and each of these countries, as Mr. Dapo said, we are operating in silos. Everybody with his own land tenure system, everybody with own legal system. So as a real estate developer sitting down here now, if I cross this border to let's say Tanzania or Ghana, for example, I become a new person because I am going into an environment with a new law, and everything I happen to know here become outdated, not applicable. So what in your own experience, what do you think we should do to have seamless cross-border capital mobilization and cross-border practices? Just final question. Anybody can go first. What do you
Yeah,
think we
I,
should
I
do?
think I will start in Tanzania. In my experience in real estate, not just in Tanzania, in abroad, because I worked in United States also as well. The system is more mature than here in Africa. Uh, what I found out, what we can do, because like you mentioned, 54 countries, an investor wants to, it can be everywhere. You go to Ghana, they have different rules. If you go to Tanzania, they have different rules. Now the world is become connected. What can we do to help an investor? My suggestion is as follows. First, we need to utilize the platform already built. For example, African Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. This is more of a goods and services trades, but also it goes beyond trade. Now we have, according to the agreement, we have investment protocols within regions. We can utilize these investment protocols in such a way that we create a platform. An investor who built a hotel in Nigeria can also form a joint, can bring the same hotel, partner with somebody in Tanzania, and open hotel in Tanzania or in Zanzibar, and the tax advantage enjoyed in Nigeria should be the same tax advantage enjoyed in Tanzania, and they can repatriate capital. If Tanzania allowed capital profit repatriation using those protocols from Africa Continental Free Trade Area investment protocols, the same protocols can allow the same investor to enjoy capital repatriation or tax incentives. So we can use that platform and we can change a few things to suit real estate, because currently the Continental Free Agreement, it more concentrate on trades, movement of goods and service, but it doesn't touch much on real estate. Real estate is a mobile market. You know, I think once we can use that platform to adjust few items, I think investor will be able to operate between regions seamlessly.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dapo. Can you give your response to that question?
Yes, I think I agree with Mr. Alexander. You know, there has to be a base. I think one of the biggest issues, right, that real estate investors and institutional investors have seen is, you know, being able to get their returns, being able to get their funds, especially out of the other countries that they're investing in. So, you know, the economics of the whole investment also needs to make sense. I think maybe one thing that might help is if, you know, for every regional block, right? Let's say East Africa, West Africa, Central Africa, there's a uniform trading currency, you know, which makes the repatriation of funds way more easier, right? Right now, I know everybody wants to. Well, some might say, "Oh, we already have the dollar for that," right? But you know, the dollar might be hard. It's actually making it hard because, you know, a lot of the countries in Africa have a very, very bad exchange rate with the dollar, so it's very hard to repatriate funds, because by the time you try and look for enough foreign currency available for your investor, it takes time, and, you know, it becomes difficult to deal in business, and that's what makes the investors very cautious. So these things need to be looked at, and I think at the end of the day, that's what's going to, you know, unite the real estate markets across board.
Thank you all very much. Your final note for our audience, please. I forgot to remind us earlier that we are streaming this event online. So aside the people that joined through the Zoom platform that registered, others are watching via YouTube. So you can give your final notes to our audience. What do you want to charge us with as we are wrapping up?
A final note. Can you? I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. You say final note.
Yes, final note. What do you want to charge us with?
Well, I want to tell as Africans, I'm glad Mr. Isnex have created this platform. I think we should have more of this platform. Even sometimes, if it's possible, we can gather somewhere, if resources allow, face to face meetings like this. But as Africans, let's come together. Let's solve our problems, because investors from other continents, when they come to Africa, I'm not sure if they will really solve our problems more effectively than ourselves. For example, there are things that we can do as Africans. Our institutions need to change some of the things. For example, some other areas, land ownership, the systems, land systems, also need to change to really keep up with with where the world is. Each country is facing housing deficit, but the plans are differing. The way Nigeria tackle housing deficit could be different from Tanzania, but we should come together to see what Nigeria does better. Tanzania can emulate Nigeria, and the vice versa. I think that's important to do, and also we can influence policymakers. Let's push to the policymaker to adopt what we recommend to them. Sometimes we have that rigidity of taking ideas from the experts. I think we need to change because the world is moving faster.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dapo. Your own.
Yeah, I think my charge would be very similar to Mr. Alex's own. We have to, as a bloc, we have to, have more of these meetings. We have to be able to influence government policy. We have to be able to say, we have to be able to look at the market and say, this is what's best for the market, not just for one country, but for different countries across board. So that's how to, adapt the soft power that we can garner as real estate professionals, as people that are participants in the real estate market. So all of that is very important, and I think this is a very this is a very good step in the right direction. And I hope as time goes on, it metamorphoses into a stronger force for influencing policy within the African continent. Thank you, everyone, and thank you very much, Mr. Yunusa, for putting this together.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Dapo. Thank you, Alexander. It's nice to have you today on African Real Estate and Business Insight. Our mission for this is very simple. This is for us to de-risk the real estate and infrastructural sector to attract more investors, create investors' confidence, and also share practical knowledge and insights among ourselves. And we have been doing this for over a year now, and we have learned a lot from each other. And this is what we do every month. And I'm glad to have you people coming here today to share from your wealth of experience. I'm glad by the insight you shared with us. And I hope that in no distant time, we'll come back again together to share more ideas and maybe form policies that we can individually push in our various countries. So at this point, I say thank you very much. Thank you for honoring our invitation. So Halima, over to you.
As we come to the end of this insightful session, I would like to sincerely thank our distinguished speakers for sharing your perspectives, and also to our host, A.S. Yunusa, for guiding us through such an engaging discussion. To our audience, thank you for your time, for attending this event. As we look forward to having you join us in the future session and continue to share knowledge, drive conversation, and shape the future of real estate in Africa. Have a wonderful evening, and hope to see you soon in our next month session. I'm not sure of the dates, but hopefully do follow us on LinkedIn, EasyNeck Global or African Real Estate and Business Insights. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Halima.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Alexander, thank you. Mr. Dapo, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have you could be added to the group, our past speakers group, so that we can continue our conversation from there?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. So please try to be in our past speakers group. We have other previous speakers. Yeah.
Thank you very much.